Oh, I'm just going to start. Hey everybody, welcome back. Some more early morning barking, talking about BPD and NPD by somebody that has both. And today, talking about COVID by somebody that has it. It's been a hard week. It's been an unpleasant week. I'll be perfectly honest. I'm recording this on a Monday night. And my little story is that about this time, no, a few hours ago from now, about a week ago, Monday night, I arrived home about 11:30ish, and God, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. I had a 10-minute drive home. I was fine when I left the place I was at, and then by the time I arrived home at 11:30, I was really ill. And I say really ill, right, in terms of an illness that has sadly taken a lot of lives around the world. I am on the very mild end of the spectrum. I'm not moaning about my own illness at all. I'm very lucky to have gone off with it as mildly as I have. But it came on in about 10 minutes, and I was ill on Monday night, and then woke up on Tuesday morning thinking I'd feel. I was the kind of ill on Monday night where I figured I was tired, I'd not had enough to eat. If I just went to bed and got some sleep, I'd be fine in the morning. And I felt like death in the morning, and the COVID test, and it just immediately turned positive. So there was no doubt whatsoever about that. And I've just spent the last week inside in my house on my own, with my thoughts and a lot of ice cream and chocolate. I'm feeling less ill now. Obviously, I'm feeling well enough to talk to you lot, but I bet you can still hear it in my voice. I can still hear it in my voice. I'm still testing positive. It's day 7, day 6, whatever. I've cancelled my plans for the upcoming weekend. It's just been like everything put on hold, everything stop, and feel rubbish for a while. And there's quite a few video topics to take out of this. I mean, there's stuff about self-care, there's stuff about being kind to yourself. I've been upset that I can't do stuff. I was saying earlier how I feel like I've not used this time wisely. Like, what was I going to do? This isn't time off. This is time ill. I've been capable of lying on this sofa or in bed and making a slight weakling moaning noise. That's what I've been doing. What else was I going to achieve? So there's all that stuff. And then there's the isolation, which has been interesting because it hasn't been absolute. I'm not cut off from the world, right? But there's obviously been no human contact. And I think this is where I'm going to start with it in terms of what I can cover from this, what I can get out of it. Because it's been an interesting experience, both from a BPD and an NPD perspective. When you're alone like this, you've got room to ruminate on thoughts, good or bad. And you've got nobody to immediately bounce things off, to talk to suggest that the things you're talking about are bad, or to help you with it at all. And you kind of have to do it all yourself. And you often end up with negative things to ruminate on. We don't ruminate on good things, do we, ever? That's not a thing. That's not part of it. We don't obsess over the good things that make us happy. We obsess over the things that make it difficult and hurt. And when you've got that BPD, you don't necessarily need something to happen in real life to give you that hurt. You don't, it doesn't matter. And when you've got something like a virus that means you have to stay away from the world, right? There's a lot of scope for being hurt about stuff. That's something that I've, like, just being hurt, just whatever it is, and you'll find something, right? And it's not true. I mean, look, to anyone who's been in contact with me over the last week, who knows me and is watching this video, I'm not talking about anyone real or you or anything that has happened. But you're constantly feeling like nobody cares. No, where are all the messages? Why isn't there a queue of people waiting to video chat with me all day? Why aren't I being sent presents and care packages and all kinds of stuff? Why aren't people worried about me? There's so much hurt. And it's all bollocks, you know. It's not actual reasons to be hurt, nor am I being neglected and not looked after or cared about, right? That is a ridiculous notion. While I might have been physically isolated, I have been far from alone for the last week. And far from uncared about or unthought of or unlooked after as much as possible. But that doesn't matter, because the ruminations start anyway. Because there's always a weak link in the armor. There's always something we can find. And because we're making it up, it doesn't have to be much, right? So that person didn't call, that person didn't text, that person hasn't sent anything. Why haven't I heard from so-and-so? All those people I'm friends with on Facebook, and what proportion of them have actually got in touch? How many people clicked the care icon on that first post I made about having COVID? There's always stuff to be hurt about, right? There's always stuff to go, well, they didn't do that. And when you sat here on your own with nothing to distract you, you just can run with it. And you have to sit telling yourself that this is rubbish. This is made up BPD stuff. This is not real. And I find it useful to sort of flip things around. How many people have I worried about with COVID? It's really not, it's none, actually. I'll be honest. Worry, no. I've not worried about anybody. Nobody I know, luckily, has been particularly poorly with it. Worry, no. You know, what have I done of all these things that I might be able to find a reason to complain about somebody not doing them for me? All this stuff. It really brings out the... Well, do you know what? This is where BPD and covert narcissism bump up against each other, right? Because on the BPD side of things, you've got that fear of abandonment, that fear that nobody really likes me anyway, and I'm just sat here on my own. I bet they're all having such a good time, and now I'm not there. That's what they've all been waiting for, right? Me to get COVID. Now it's, thank God Rich is gone. That's the BPD side of things. But then you've got this NPD side of things, which is like, nobody's doing this right. Nobody's doing this right. This is not how you look after somebody. This is not how you should behave. This is not the correct way to be. These people are not as good at being friends as me. They're really not. They don't care. They just don't care. They don't have the thought. They don't have the thought. They're struggling to process their lives as it is. You think they've got the bandwidth to deal with me as well? God, no, that's giving people too much credit, isn't it? And it's a similar effect. It's this same sort of... It all comes from hurt. But that NPD side has much more of an entitlement, a much more arrogant side, a much more... It is the entitlement, and the entitlement that brings it on at all. Like, why am I entitled to extra special treatment? Who else is getting extra special treatment, right? Some people are going through hell with this. I've got a mild cold. I've had worse colds, right? I've felt so much worse than I have with this. I have had so many worse general, poorly, unexplained illnesses. And yeah, there is some tantrum throwing at the entitled feeling that I deserve something special, that I deserve this. They should be working harder for me, right? Come on, it's me. Am I going to work harder for them? Are other people working harder for each other than they are for me? Because I don't think that's the case either. I don't think it's just a what have I done and it's coming back to me kind of thing. I think it's a case of people got shit to do, right? People have struggled with their own COVID. People have had it harder than me. People have had it and looked after kids. I got to lie here. I had it so easy. And yet, so much narc hurt. Why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? Leave them alone. People are doing what they can. People care. But then that BPD comes in and sits and goes, huh, no one cares anyway. I told you no one cared. And it's like being trapped here with two other people and they're both miserable. That's what it's like. I am trapped here with two miserable people, and one of them hates the world and one of them thinks the world hates him. And I'm just sat here trying to watch TV and thinking, this will be over in a week. This will just be over in a week. And my life will return to whatever normality it was in the first place, right? And this will just be done with. So can we all just shut up on watching something? So BPD, fear of abandonment, and the paranoia, the everyone hates me stuff, butting up right against that NPD entitlement and all this other stuff that is just, it all complements each other. It all makes the other bits worse. And I'm just like, I'm just going to play some Switch or whatever, because I don't need all of this that's going on. It's like, it's just noise at this point. And I've reached the point of awareness with it that I know it's noise. It's irritating, it's still there. I need it turned down, but I'm not paying attention to it anymore. It doesn't get to me, it is just annoying. So that's something at least. And hey, I'll be out soon, and clearly I'm feeling up to talking to you lot again, so that's something. And if I can do it from the comfort of my sofa, then so much the better, I guess. I need a wireless microphone. I'm working on that. Please join me on my Patreon at patreon.com/earlymorningbarking. And then we can do all kinds of crazy videos and stuff like that, I guess, once I'm wireless. What am I talking about? The brain fog has been incredible. I'm just drifting now. This is a real video. Do you see? I'm not making this up. I'll see you later. Bye.